This is exciting. We don't know what's going to happen, Dan. That's what I love about the NFL.
First time in 29 years you haven't been preparing for a season, but the Seahawks and the Chargers ready to go. John Casey to kick off for the Seahawks. Nate Lewis is the deep man for San Diego. And he'll down it in the end zone, so the ball will bring out to the 20-yard line, where the Chargers will start 1st and 10. Stan Humphries, for the first time as he entered the camp this year, he is the starter. His 6th camp, he is the starter, the 7th straight new starting quarterback for San Diego as we set the offense for the Chargers. Up front, Eric Moten has moved to left tackle. Harry Swain is hurt, so they've done some shifting. Mike Zandowski to left guard, Courtney Hall at center, Joe Milinchek, the free agent from the Rams, and the veteran at right tackle from New Orleans is Stan Brock, Marion Butts, the running back, Derek Walker, the H-back, the wideouts, Anthony Miller, one of the NFL's best, along with Nate Lewis and the tight end Dwayne Young. And this is Marion Butts, who's across the 22 to about the 23-yard line. And let's set the defense for Seattle. And the front 7. Really the strength of this Seahawk team has been the defense. Bryant Nash and the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year, Cortez Kennedy up front, along with Natu Tua Tagovailoa. And the linebackers, Terry Wooden, Rod Stevens, and Kevin Murphy gets the start today for the injured Rufus Porter. And in the backfield, a great one. Dwayne Harper and Patrick Hunter, the corners. Robert Blackman and Eugene Robinson, coming off his first Pro Bowl season, is the other safety. Humphries to pass. Ronnie Harmon incomplete on the left side.
One advantage that San Diego has, Dan, is all the different formations they're using. In that case, they shifted, and Seattle didn't even go up and match up on the outside. Stan tried to hit him real quick.
Howard Rowe, the referee, as the penalty indicated against Bobby Ross in the San Diego Chargers, the NFL Coach of the Year last year, the consensus Coach of the Year in his 2nd year. Of course, the 0-4 start last year.
Well, I tell you what, I got great
illegal motion,
admiration for him.
Number 81 offense. Penalties decline. Brings up 3rd down.
And a call against Nate Lewis.
When you think about this, Dan, he starts out 0-4. I start out 0-5. I was just looking for a different way home at night in Washington, D.C. This guy turns around and goes ahead and wins the division.
3rd down and 6. And Humphries, plenty of time. Deflected at the line of scrimmage, and it is intercepted. Joe Nash has the touchdown for Seattle.
A real shock. I think Stan was looking to go downfield with the ball, looked and actually had a late checkout, but threw the ball a little low. The lineman bats it up in the air, and it was just a great play. I tell you the truth, I don't know how that defensive lineman was able to catch the ball. Stan's looking to his left, turns around, comes back. He's looking, finds a little checkoff and would have had big yardage there. Ball gets batted in the air, and Cortez Kennedy, one of the absolute stars that we'll be talking about all day long. It's going to be a matter of San Diego trying to control him, but he was actually at the line of scrimmage and batted the ball up in the air for an interception.
So the point after attempt by John Casey as Cortez Kennedy with a deflection and Joe Nash with the touchdown run. And the point after good. So the Seattle Seahawks with 14:07 left in the first quarter, out in front of the AFC West Division champion Chargers.
A perfect pocket here for Stan Humphries. Look at him. He's looking, goes for a checkoff, and of all things, Cortez bats it up in the wall, in the air, and then it comes down off the shoulder pad of Sinclair, and then of all things, Nash is there, one of his buddies, the 3 linemen working together, and a touchdown. A rare experience for a defensive lineman, I'll tell you that, and a great start for the Seattle Seahawks. I think the quarterbacks in this game, Stan and Rick Myers, are going to have to make plays against the defense. In that case, it was the defense making a play against Stan.
7-0 Seattle out in front of the Chargers. They have lost their last 6 openers, although 5 of those have come on the road as Casey kicks to Nate Lewis, who starts from the goal line. Across the 20, across the 30, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Brought down by Dave McCluen of the Seahawks.
I used to stand on the sidelines, Dan, and beg them when we made a big play like that. I would say, please, special teams, Do not let them out of the hole. This is a big momentum boost right here because now San Diego's in good field position, can take a shot, call anything they want.
Actually, from the 28, first down and 10 for the Chargers, who will try again. And Humphries going long and deep for Nate Lewis. And it is incomplete. On the coverage for the Seahawks was Dwayne Harper.
I think it was about 50 yards in the air. That tells us something about Stan's arm. They wanted to let him know that he can go deep.
Well, in talking with Stan yesterday, he mentioned that he was missing the big burst on the home run ball with the bruised shoulder, but he seemed like he rifled that fine downfield on that one.
The first time I saw Stan Humphries, he was sitting across from a bowl of gumbo in Louisiana at a small college, and he looked across the table at me and said, if I don't make it in pro ball, I'm going to come back here. My wife's a dental hygienist, and I'm just going to play golf.
Well, the gumbo eater Stan Humphries was the 5th highest rated passer in the NFL last season, as we get a look at Marion Butts, the big fullback, 6'1", 248-pounder in his 5th year out of Florida State, second all-time rusher for the Chargers.
Well, you guys made it easy on me in this game, opening up with San Diego, because, Dan, they run almost the exact identical offense that we ran in Washington. Matter of fact, when Stan came here, he told me, Joe, we put in some of the exact game plans that we used there, and what I'm seeing here today is easy for me to call.
3rd and 5. And Humphrey is intercepted. This is Carlton Gray, the rookie out of UCLA. Seattle's 2nd-round draft pick has the 2nd interception in less than 2 minutes into this game for the Seahawks.
This is an example of Stan just trying to get the ball up and over a linebacker, trying to get it into the nickel coverage. Again, he has good protection, and you can see this ball. He's trying to get it over the top to the out route, but just doesn't get it high enough. In that case, hey, that Stan's shoulder could have bothered him a little bit there.
So here are the Seahawks in business at the Chargers 31. Rick Meyer, in his first NFL snap, hands the ball off to Chris Warren. That was up the middle for a good gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
I would look for Seattle to pound that ball, want to run it, Dan, and let Rick Myers take a few shots. They love the idea right here that they're up.
From Storybook High School quarterback in Goshen, Indiana, Rick Meyer, the fabulous career at Notre Dame, now taking his first snaps in the NFL behind an offensive line which has really undergone some changes. Andy Heck, his 3rd position in as many years, and the backs Warren and Williams, the wideouts Martin and Blades, along with Farrell Evans, the new tight end. And this is John L. Williams, who was brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Sean Lee.
Seattle will look to just control this ball on the ground. Rookie quarterback, let him take his shots, as I mentioned. Here is a blitz by the Chargers, figuring also that they're going to be running the ball here with 2nd and medium yardage. It was a good call by the Charger defense by Bill Arnsparger.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 6. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Burt Grossman and Sean Lee brought him down.
Actually, in this case, Dan, if there wasn't something open, he did the right thing by taking the sack. He's still on the 30-yard line, and they still have a shot at a field goal. So, Rick, right here, you can afford a sack. If nothing's open, you're still inside field goal range. Don't do anything stupid for a rookie. I'm sure that's what he's been told by Coach Flores. And they're going to get a shot at a field goal here.
So here is John Casey as Rick Meyer goes down for the first time in his NFL career. This will be a 49-yard field goal attempt for Casey. It was long enough, but it is wide left. So despite the 2nd interception by Stan Humphries, the Seahawks come up empty. 7-0. We'll be back in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. By LA Tech Light Gear. You gotta own the light if you want to own the night. And by the heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer.
Welcome back to Jack Murphy Stadium. There is Rick Meyer, and the Seahawks line gave up an league-high 67 sacks last season. Rick Meyer goes down for the first time in his NFL career, and a rough start for Stan Humphries so far as he gives it to Marion Butts, who fights his way across the 30 to about the 34-yard line. But 0 for 4 so far for Stan Humphries in the passing department, Joe, as well as 2 interceptions.
Well, it's a rough start for Stan, but I tell you, the way he came in here last year and played, leading them to a title, I'd have to say that you're looking at somebody that could be the biggest mistake that I probably made in coaching from the standpoint of trading him. I just didn't get along with Stan in the weight room and some of the other things he wanted to do off the field, and when I liked Terry Conklin, wound up trading him, and yet he comes here, and I knew he was a talented guy, and this is going to be interesting to see how far he goes in his career.
And he's got his first completion, this to Ronnie Harmon, who is close to a first down at the 41, brought down by Terry Wooden.
Ronnie Harmon is the guy out of the backfield for him, made a number of tremendous plays last year. You see a little replay here. They try and get him isolated one-on-one on any linebacker at any time. Linebackers have a tough time with Ronnie Harmon, believe me. We tried to get him in the free agency, Dan, and I thought I had a shot at him, but he wanted to play running back.
Well, he wanted to improve on his speed. He's been working out with the San Diego State track team as the officials come out to measure and see if Harmon got the first down. And they've indicated that he does have the first down at the 41. But for the last 2 years, Harmon has tried to improve his speed. He says, if I'm going to be just a third down guy and have all the pressure coming in on the field to make the first down, then I got to get faster. And he said he's as fast as he's ever been in his career, working on his speed with the track coach.
And when I said running back, he doesn't consider being a guy coming out of the backfield as being a running back. He wants to be back there where Marion Butts is, carrying the football, and the Chargers have chose a different role for him, and I think that's his role. His role is being a receiver. He doesn't like it.
Team MVP the last 2 years for the Chargers. This is big Marion Butts. And Butts all the way up close to midfield before he's run out by Rod Stevens, but they'd also like to have a healthy Marion Butts this year. Spent most of last year with a nagging knee injury, and even in this preseason has been coming back from a thigh bruise.
Yeah, he didn't get to carry the ball very much in preseason. A lot of the coaches and other people associated in front office thought that it was going to be hard for him to get off to a good start because he just hasn't carried the ball. He's been hurt, Nick, with that thigh bruise. But I tell you what, that looked like a pretty good run to me on the outside right there.
Yeah, 6'1".
This big guy can go.
248-pound Butts, the two-time Pro Bowler and an alternate last year. And Seahawk might have been offsides as Butts bolts over for an apparent first down on second down and about 1.
Dan, I was so upset. Marion Butts, I had friends at Florida State where he was. They called me up there and they said, Joe, this guy could be the great one back for you. He's huge. He didn't get to play a lot for us here. And so we sent scouts down there. Bobby Beathard was there at the time. We sent him down and took a look at Butts. They all came back with the same report, and they said, no, this guy's just a special teams player. As a consequence, he comes here, and man, would he look good in that Washington Redskin uniform, getting that ball about 35 times a game.
Offside, number 99 defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
On the right end for Seattle, Tua Tagovailoa was offside, so San Diego will have another first down. This at the Seahawk 45.
I never let those scouts forget that. I bring that up all the time. And to Bobby, too. Of course, Bobby might have known he was coming here, and that's why he chose to pass on it.
And here's Butts inside the 40, inside the 35.
You're going to see just an isolation play. You can see the fullback leading Butts. This is just basic isolation up the middle. He is so big and so strong and a very good job of blocking up front. And last year, I'd say that this team right here, many people talked about them being an AFC team, but they really look like an NFC team. Big, strong, good defense, and run the ball like mad with this big guy.
All right, another first down. Humphries deep drop. Left side open is Anthony Miller. And he is close to another first down. Patrick Hunter ran him out of bounds. So Anthony Miller making the Pro Bowl for the 3rd time, hauls in his first reception of the game.
A little play action here after giving the ball to Butts several times. And this is a good throw by Stan on the out route here. Just a simple out route, but it showed that I think his arm strength is there. I think he feels fine. That's a good call. Several good running plays there, and that's the reason why people like to run the ball, because everything comes off that. Your play action comes off that for big plays.
Anthony Miller battling a hamstring injury. He sat out the last preseason game for the Chargers. Here's Butts on 1st and 10, and Marion inside the 15 to the 13. Marion Butts disappointed in his performance last year, Joe, but he does seem healthy this year. There's some spark to his run.
Yeah, they're going to give him a little blow here. Well, I think that's a good idea, considering he hadn't had that much work in preseason. But this is a real strong run right here. I'm a little surprised by this, Dan, because to tell you the truth, I think Seattle has a very complicated defense. They're very good. I think they do a great job. Rusty Tillman coaching them over there with Tom Catlin being the senior advisor on the staff. And I'm surprised that San Diego right now has been able to run like this.
Another 1st down for the Chargers. Marion Butts leading the way early. 6 carries on 42 yards.
Matter of fact, if you ask Rusty Tillman, he'll tell you, look, we're going to put more guys up there than you guys have, and we're going to stop the run first. They start with that stop the run. And this is defeating their whole principle right here. I know he's upset on the sidelines.
Eric Bieniemy in the backfield for the Chargers on 1st and 10 from the Seahawks 13. This is Bieniemy's first carry of the game. Maybe a yard. And the 3rd-year man out of Colorado hopes to get more action this year with Rod Bernstein, who is gone to the Denver Broncos. There is Bobby Ross, the 11-5 regular season last year. After the 0-4 start, he was the man that really kept his team together.
Yeah, but all kinds of coaches. This guy is very sincere, really cares about what he's doing. Tom Flores coming back into coaching, used to call the plays, turned that over, and he's going to try and rebuild
San Diego.
Seattle.
Charge team timeout. That's their first Charge timeout.
Timeout for San Diego. Stan Humphries will come to the sidelines to talk things over with Bobby Ross. Seattle with a 7-0 lead. There is the new defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, Rusty Tillman, taking over Tom Catlin's job. He's now the assistant for Tom Flores.
Yeah, Tom is actually the father. This is the son of the defense. And Rusty runs in his office all the time asking Tom, hey, help me out on this. This guy's a very conscientious guy, Rusty. His philosophy, though, Dan, is he likes to put a lot of guys up front. He doesn't want you to run. And that's the reason why what San Diego's doing right now, that kind of strikes right at the quick for him. He doesn't like this.
Poor start for Humphries with the 2 interceptions, but the Chargers driving now, 2nd and 10. Humphries has time, swings it out to Butts, who's inside the 10, down to about the 9. A gain of 4 for Marion Butts, brought down by the strong safety Robert Blackman.
I asked Stan if they were going to miss Rod Bernstein when he went up to Denver, and he said, well, the only thing we missed there is the pass receiving, because when Marion's in there, we normally don't throw to him much, but right here is a good throw and a good catch by Marion. You don't picture him as being your pass receiver, but how'd you like to try and tackle all that out in the open? I wouldn't want to.
6'1", 248 pounds, and this is the third down situation for the Chargers. The first 2 third downs, Stan Humphries threw 2 interceptions. 3rd and 6, the ball at the 9. And a juggling act by Derek Walker, the H-back, but he holds on. And brought down by Blackman again to bring up 4th down in about 5. So we'll see John Carney come on to attempt the field goal.
Yeah, a little bit of an unusual call there with 3rd down and 5. They actually got a little bunch. They bunched all their receivers together, but went with a play action and tried to fool the defensive end from Seattle. He wasn't going for it and came upfield on Stan and forced him to throw the ball quickly.
This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt for John Carney, who has hit 16 straight field goals, a club record. This trying to go for his 17th straight. And John Carney has it. He already holds 6 Charger kicking records, and he has the Chargers on the board for the first time today. They pull within 7-3. We'll be back to Jack Murphy in a moment. Weather couldn't be more perfect here in San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium, where the Seahawks lead by a score of 7-3. Coming up at halftime, our Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. New in the chair, Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka, along with O.J. Simpson, will have all the highlights for us coming up at halftime of this game.
I'm very interested to see what part of Mike's wardrobe he's going to break out next. I kind of like that.
John Carney, who just pulled the Chargers within 7-3, kicks off, and this is Michael Bates, the bronze medalist in the Barcelona Olympics in the 200 meters, now a kick returner and special teams performer for Seattle. And he brings it across the 15-yard line to about the 17. And he's got world-class speed. Hasn't played football in 3 years, but looking for big things from him.
Well, I'm not surprised that he can run back kicks like this. But I tell you, Dan, they said this guy is a bullet on kickoff coverage and actually likes to do it. Now, that is unusual, a sprinter that'll cover a kickoff.
He missed all of the 92 season in a contract dispute, but we'll see a lot of him today. Rick Meyer is set for his second series here. And this is Chris Warren, who had a team record 1,927 all-purpose yards for the Seahawks last year. Let's set the Charger defense for you. The front seven, which has been fighting through some injuries this preseason. Grossman, Lee, Winter, and Leslie O'Neal coming off the career-high 17-sack season last year. The linebackers, Gerald Williams, coming over from Pittsburgh. He'll be a key. Gary Plummer and Junior Seau, the outstanding linebacker. And Donald Frank and Sean Van Horst, the new corners. Boyd Fields and Stanley Richard are the safeties. Second down and 3, and this time Warren is caught in the backfield by Sean Lee. Junior Seau also in there, and will be calling number 55's number a lot today.
Very similar, these two defenses. They both have a dominating player, Cortez Kennedy for Seattle, but Junior Seau right here is a guy that when we talked to the Seattle coaches, offensive coaches, were very worried about being able to control him. Tough to run away from him. He's so fast, Dan, and you can't run right at him. Big, strong guy, and he's got 2 tackles playing right in front of him that he controls, the slant. He keep the offense off of him.
He led San Diego the last 2 years in tackles. Third down and 5. Meyer. Pass is intercepted. Marcus Pope, the left corner, picks up the interception for San Diego.
Rick trying to pick up the first down here. Rick Meyer, and in this case throwing in the nickel coverage and just try to get it into his back there. We kind of see a replay here. Goes back, actually has time, pretty good protection, just tried to get it in. That's a great play. Corner coming in, making a great play. Just flat taking the ball away.
It was intended for the tight end Paul Green, and Pope wrestles it away, and it puts the Chargers in great field position at the Seahawk 26. And this is Bieniemy, brought down by Terry Wooden. So after throwing the first 2 interceptions, the Chargers have settled down, picked up an interception of their own, and trailing 7-3 with 4:03 left in the first quarter, are threatening again.
You try and sell your defense here. Just get us out of this with a field goal.
If you're a coach, what do you tell Rick Meyer?
And Rick Meyer, you got to just say, actually, it was a great play on the defensive part there, the defense. But I think in this case, Rick Meyer just try and say, hey, look, settle down and stay after it. You're doing fine. One play is not going to kill you.
Second and 5. Humphreys, intended for Nate Lewis. And the pressure from the Seahawk defensive line came from Natu Tagovailoa.
Now that's why you're doing your job, I'm doing mine. I'm not touching that, Dan, all day. Watch.
Here's the pressure from Natu.
Yeah, actually, it boils down to good quarterback play. Is normally a result of good pass protection up front. And actually, so far today, we've had a pressure here and 1 sack by Rick Meyer.
There's Natu, replaced 3-year starter. There is number 99, Tagovailoa. You might remember that Cortez Kennedy wore that number last year. Cortez wearing 96 this year as flags come in from every direction. And it might have been Cortez Kennedy who jumped off sides. And there is Cortez Kennedy in the 99 jersey, of course, worn in memory of his friend Jerome Brown, who died in the tragic car accident, his teammate at Miami. He wore the jersey for a year, and then in the offseason this past April gave the jersey to the Brown family. And now he wears number 96, the number he wore in Miami.
Can you imagine Cortez Kennedy? When I asked all the
Got a false
players and
start
coaches
on number 70 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down. By rule, we warn the defense. If it happens the next time, it'll be a 5-yard penalty on the defense. That's by rule.
We asked all the players and coaches, hey, who's the guy with the funny bone, the joker? And they all said Cortez Kennedy. Here we get to take a look at the offsides here.
Well, you can see Mike Zandowski flinched when Cortez Kennedy came across the line, and he was called for the penalty. And that'll move the Chargers back to 3rd down and 10 from the 26. And you know Mr. Harmon is in the backfield for the Chargers. And that's where Humphrey goes to the left side, but Harmon can't hang on.
I was going to say on Cortez, Dan, he said he's a big joker. He doesn't sleep that much. He stays in his room, and if he hears a rookie going down the hall late at night during tour days, he says he'll go and get in his room in the closet. The rookie walks in, and he jumps out on him. Can you imagine that? 300 pounds jumping out on you in the middle of the night.
And here's Ronnie Harmon, maybe hearing some footsteps, Joe?
Well, I think he was looking for where he was going to run, really, with the football. He was anxious to get the ball and get downfield. He thought he had big yards.
So John Carney to attempt a 45-yard field goal. He already has a 26-yarder. And this one, it wasn't pretty, but it's the 18th straight field goal for John Carney, dating back to last season, as he extends the club record and brings the Chargers within 7-6.
I think he took about a yard of grass with that one. He hit the ground a little bit before that ball, but as a strong leg carries through, and like you said, Dan, it wasn't pretty, but it was through there.
So Bobby Ross would have liked to have pushed it into the end zone, but he'll settle for a 7-6 deficit right now with 3:26 left in the first quarter.
I asked Bobby, what you like moving to the West Coast? He said, I liked everything about it, but his dad, who's 90 years old, lives in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And he said, that's the only thing I worry about. Other than that, wife and everybody, kids are kind of moved all over, but he said he loves it out here, and certainly San Diego loves him.
He is a serious guy, though, isn't he?
He is serious. This guy really cares about football. He takes everything to heart. And to be quite truthful, I think that guys like that put a lot of pressure on themselves. I know I felt a little bit that way. I wanted everybody to like me. And certainly Bobby wants everybody to think he's doing a good job. Those kind of coaches really care and are successful, but it's hard to last like that for a long time. You put so much pressure on yourself, and I think Bobby definitely does that because he cares a lot about what he's doing. He's a real serious guy.
Went from the rambling wreck to what looked like the wreck of the NFL last season when he started off 0-4. This is Michael Bates again, the Olympic sprinter, and he will be short of the 15-yard line. Steve Hendrickson is nicknamed the Rocket for the Chargers. He plays every position. And look at Hendrickson. Is this guy ready to play on opening day or what?
Rocket head. Now this is the way. I have people always tell me I want to play in the NFL. And I said, okay, we'll have you cover a kickoff. Run about 45 or 50 yards and have people taking shots at you. The great thing here, the good thing about Rocket, he gets to play a little offense too. Short yardage, goal line, he plays the fullback.
What doesn't he play? Really one of the NFL's only true three-way player. Meyer back to pass on first down, and over the outstretched hands of John L. Williams. And providing the pressure was Leslie O'Neal, the three-time Pro Bowler for the Chargers, coming off really what was the best season of his 7-year career.
Leslie has missed a lot of the preseason with a holdout, and as he was telling everybody yesterday, he doesn't really like preseason. He just wants to get on the regular season.
Well, the Seahawks have the early touchdown, which was they were benefited by the interception, but it's the Chargers who have been rolling up the early offense. Meyer to pass on second down, and he connects. And he connects with Kelvin Martin. who has his first reception as a Seahawk. Martin, of course, the free agent coming over from Dallas, where he spent 6 seasons. He was the 3rd receiver for the Cowboys and expects to get more time with the Seahawks.
I think he's going to. I think these guys like him. Like him on teams. They like him also as a receiver. And as you mentioned, he was the 3rd guy there at Dallas. He gave us some problems, I'll tell you, with Washington. But he will be playing a lot more here, and that's what he was after.
I think it was opening day last year when he returned a punt 78 yards against your club, Joe.
Did you have to bring that up? Did you have to remind me of that?
Chris Warren brings it out to the 25, brought down by Sean Lee. And the fans cheering on the Charger defense.
I think this is, you love to be a quarterback. I know when Stan came out here last year, one of the best things that happened to him, Rick Meyer we're seeing with Seattle, who also has a good defense. The best thing that happened to a quarterback is to have a great defense because they put you in good field position. And that's what you have here with the Chargers. And that's one benefit that Stan Humphries had when he came here, of playing with one of the best defenses in the league.
2nd and 10. Meyer, off the hands of Gary Plummer and into the hands of Kelvin Martin, who has a first down at the 45.
Plummer actually bats the ball as a linebacker, had a real good drop deep, looking for the ball and batted it. You'll see him here. Actually, you'll see Plummer get a hand on it, batted up in the air. And then, of course, an excellent catch. That's a good job of concentrating on the ball right there, I'll tell you that.
And here is the reaction from Rick Meyer, the first rookie Seattle quarterback to start an opener, and he has himself a first down at the 45. Warren, maybe a yard, as Stanley Richard and Bert Grossman wrestled him down. The defensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers, Bill Arnsparger, back for his 2nd year after sitting out of coaching for some 7 years.
Set out for 7 years, comes in here, and here again is a senior member of the coaching class. Believe me, this guy right here, everybody has great respect for, but a lot of people said, hey, this guy's probably lost it, been out a long time. What's Bobby Becker doing? It was a good move by Bobby and Bobby Ross, I'll tell you that, by hiring this guy. And he's certainly done the job here with the Chargers. The players love him.
2nd and 9. Meyer swings it out to the tight end, Paul Green. And he'll have a first down inside the 45 to about the 43, where Sean Van Horst and the rookie Darian Gordon wrestled him down. Closing seconds of the first quarter, as things beginning to get a little better for Rick Meyer after the tough beginning. Into the first quarter at Jack Murphy's in San Diego. The Seahawks have a 7-6 lead over the Chargers.
Before the game of today.
Rick Meyer certainly no stranger to pressure. Had one of the best quarterback careers in Notre Dame history. Here, the final regular season game against Penn State, everything on the line, and Meyer completing the 2-point conversion to give the Irish the win. And we talked to him yesterday. He is calm, cool, and collected, and just doesn't build the game into anything more than it is, just a football game, even a rookie debut.
I think he has a good head on his shoulders. I think playing at Notre Dame's definitely helped him. His nickname's Woody. I asked him, I says, how did that happen? All the coaches up there said, well, he's running around in Seattle for about 2 or 3 days like he didn't know what he was doing. And Woody is the character on Cheers, of course. It doesn't know what he's doing half the time. So they nicknamed him Woody. And he stuck with it.
Well, Woody hands off to John L. Williams as we begin play in the second quarter. Brought down by Darren Carrington. John Williams also wants to be more a part of the passing attack in Seattle. Thinks he might get more receptions this year. But he was second in the NFL in receptions by a running back last year, only second to Ronnie Harmon.
John L. was one of the best blockers in college I think I'd ever seen in Florida. And now, leans more towards catching the ball, and I don't blame him. That's easier than blocking, but he can do it all, really, as a fullback.
In the 7, 2nd down and 3. Myers pass complete to Brian Blades.
Now that pass for Rick took a little touch. He had to get that up and over the top. That was a good touch throw. I think that tells you that he's settling down a little bit here. This is a 3-level pass, basically. Very simple, but very hard to defend. Just put 3 receivers, 1 deep, 1 cutting the angle that you saw right here catching the ball and one in the flat.
Brian Blades trying to stay healthy this year. Broke his collarbone in the first play of the season opener last year. He missed 10 games. But he is one of the better receivers in the NFL when he is healthy. Myers pass, and it is hauled in by Chris Warren, who makes a nice grab below his waist.
A little dangerous there, Dan. That would have been ruled a fumble because that was a backward pass that we've talked about. You saw the referee signaling that with a fist, closed fist. That was a dangerous pass there. You don't like those behind the line of scrimmage like that. Rick took the chance there. One of the rule changes in the NFL this season. A backward pass can be advanced by the defense.
It's
going to change things a little bit in the shotgun and on swing passes like that one you just saw right there.
Well, 2nd down and 10 for the Seahawks at the Chargers 16. They lead at 7-6. And this is Warren. And he'll get down to about the 13-yard line.
The exact same play that we saw Marion Butts carry the ball on 2 times in a row, an isolation play. And when we say isolation, we're talking about the fullback. Watch him right here isolate the linebacker. You see him right there. He actually goes to the ground. Strong run up over the top there. But I tell you, that's a play that's both teams have run here today, and they're trying to really isolate their fullback on the linebacker and then run off that block.
There is John L. Williams. And in motion to the left side, Warren. On 3rd and 8, Myers pass. Did he hang on? He did. Paul Green wrestles the ball out of a host of Charger defenders, including linebacker Gary Plummer. And that will put the ball down to the 10-yard line. Tom Flores of Seahawks.
Yeah, Coach Flores is no choice here, really. He's got to kick the field goal here. And that's his decision. Coach Flores also being someone that set out, Dan, for a number of years. And he told me, he says, I was okay until I went to the games, and then I got bored. There's nothing to do as a general manager.
So on 4th down, this is John Casey to attempt a 23-yard field goal. And the lefty drills it through, and the Seahawks add 3 more points to take a 10-6 lead over San Diego. So 11:45 left in the first half. We'll be back to Jack Murphy. San Diego general manager Bobby Beathard has hired 2 coaches in his 30-year NFL career, Joe Gibbs and Bobby Ross. As Casey kicks off to Nate Lewis, and the Charger kick returner comes out across the 15.
I mentioned that Bobby, you know, it's tough for them setting up there. There's nothing for him to do. And Bobby got a little shot of him there. Bobby's rebuilt this team in 3 years. Only 6 guys left.
Meanwhile, there's Nate Lewis limping off as flags are thrown on the play. There's Bobby.
Bobby.
Number 26 on a kicking team, 15-yard penalty. First down.
It is tough for those guys. General managers, all the things that they do and they put into it, and then they have to go sit up there 200 yards away and watch what's going on. One of my favorite stories, Bobby's in the back of the offensive booth one day, and we were trying a special play on the goal line against the Bears. We had John Riggins and Otis Swanson. We gave Otis the ball on a counter play, and everybody was telling Bobby, look at this, it's going to be great. We gave it to Otis. They stop him for a 2-yard loss, and he goes, my gosh, we got $1 million back, and you give it to Otis Swanson. It's tough for those guys up there second guessing.
Just a few of the disagreements you had with Bobby Beathard in your career in Washington, as Marion Butts picks up some good yardage for San Diego. Brought down by Terry Wooden.
I think that's going to happen, Dan. The disagreements between coaches and general managers, particularly the guy picking the players and the guy coaching them. In Bobby's case, he would pick them and say, man, this guy's great. And about the time I'd start to enjoy him and really say, yeah, I love him, Bobby would say, no, we got a new group. Get rid of him. We got some more guys for you. So it's kind of a little bit of a natural. And Bobby and our relationship was very productive.
Stan Humphries on 2nd and 4, and he completes it to Anthony Miller. We'll try to get an update on Nate Lewis, who limped off the field on the kickoff return. Carlton Gray was called for unsportsmanlike conduct. As we take another look at the completion to Anthony.
Just a little quick out. What you wouldn't want there is the corner to roll up in coverage, and that's what happened there. That's the reason why it was kind of dangerous. You don't like to throw that into roll-up coverage. You want the quarterback to read the two safeties and throw it outside only when the corner's off, not when they're rolling to it.
First down. And this time it's Butts. He is short of the line of scrimmage. And Cortez Kennedy, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, even more impressive since it came on a 2-14 team last season.
Yeah, I was talking to the coaches up there, and they said, well, a great group of guys. They said these guys could have quit, particularly the defensive players, because they were having such an awful year on offense. Cortez, in this case right here, is making a great play. In this case, San Diego's choosing to run at him and isolate him, try and run off of him. He's the best run defensive tackle that I think I coached against in the NFL.
Butts breaks through into the secondary down to the Seahawk 42. Another first down for San Diego. Brought down by Robert Blackman.
San Diego in this case kind of putting the tight end in motion to one side, and just a slant play to Marion. Look at this, what an athletic move right there. I mean, you're talking about 245 pounds getting up in the air 3 yards to try and hurdle somebody. A great person too, Dan. This guy's a great guy. The college coaches, everybody, the pro coaches all love him as a person.
Humphreys to pass on first down. Left side. Did Anthony Miller hang on? No catch for Miller. Bruised right quadricep is the injury report on Nate Lewis, and it is questionable whether he will return.
Shot there of Stan Humphreys. First time I met Stan, I mentioned a guy that really wasn't making anything today. He's going to make around $2.5 million this year. I asked him for a loan when I saw him down there. I says, he owes me a lot. Even though I wind up cutting him and he comes out here and the guy's a millionaire. I deserve some part of that, don't I?
Oh, absolutely. So, 2nd and 10. Humphreys to the air again, and this is Miller. And he's close to another first down to the Seahawk 32. Terry Wooden brought him down. So Miller leading the team in reception yards last year and touchdowns with 8. Hauls in another one, and it is good for the first down.
A good view here at Miller coming underneath coverage, and really that was a zone where everybody was dropping back. And one of the disadvantages to a zone where you're not playing people man for man, Miller got underneath the coverage there and made a good play.
Seattle Seahawk injured on the play. We'll identify him when we come back in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Oldsmobile. By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. And by the Crest Complete toothbrush. Crest Complete helps maintain a dentist clean.
8:46 left in the first half. Seattle up 7-6. Kevin Murphy, the injured Seahawk on this play.
Yeah, you see Kevin being pushed, really coming down underneath, and one of his teammates and Butts, about 500 pounds, landing on his head. I think I'd be a little woozy too. Hopefully he's okay. He walked off, looked a little groggy.
And Seahawks hope he is too. He's filling in for Rufus Porter, who is hurt as well with a pulled hamstring. First and 10. Humphreys in and out of the hands of Marion Butts. And if he wants to catch the ball more, that's not exactly a good way to get Bobby Ross to throw it to him more.
Yeah, it's you don't picture Marion as being the pass receiver, the nifty pass receiver. But today we've already seen Stan go to him a couple of times, and these are very effective passes when a team drops as far back in zone coverage as Seattle did there. It leaves big holes underneath, and you know that can be a 10-yard gain in a hurry there if you get that ball off to Butts, and then we've seen him run over a couple of guys in the process too.
2nd down and 10. Ronnie Harmon is the lone setback for the Chargers. Humphreys pass batted down at the line of scrimmage by Terry Wooden.
Deflected by number 90, Terry Wooden.
And that will bring up 3rd and 10. And so far today, the Chargers 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. And a nice play by Wooden.
This is something that it's hard to avoid this at times. Quarterbacks normally see through those lanes in there, but also those linemen getting up high and getting their hands high. It's very hard to get that over the top. I don't think Stan saw the defensive lineman, and I don't think he had much of a chance there.
3rd and 10. Humphries just getting it away and not able to hold on the left side with Sean Jefferson. He got a lot of pressure. And Patrick Hunter was the defensive back in the coverage.
That was a blitz. Stan read the blitz. One of the linebackers came free right up the middle. You can see him right here coming right at Stan. Very athletic play by Stan there, getting rid of the ball, and pretty daggum close to completing that too, I'll tell you. Matter of fact, that was a great athletic play by Stan Humphries. Just being able to get that ball off and get it that close.
Pressuring was Robert Blackman, and this sets up a 51-yard field goal attempt by John Carney, who has 17 straight field goals dating back to last season, but this one has enough leg and it's good. John Carney may never miss another field goal. Good from 51 yards, and the Chargers within 10-9. John Carney, a 26-yard field goal, followed by a 44-yard field goal and his latest 50-yard field goal. All of the offense for the Chargers today as they trail the Seahawks 10-9. 8 minutes left in the first half, and this is John Vaughn, the new acquisition for the Patriots, and outstanding special team coverage by the Chargers. Eric Castle, the 6th-round draft pick out of Oregon.
That was not your average kickoff either. John's earning it both ways, and I'll tell you what, they're not making it easy for him on those field goals. They're not giving him anything cheap. That was on dirt and 51 yards. That was a heck of a kick.
Well, Rick Meyer has completed his last 6 passes. He was struggled early and now seems to be putting it together, but he's deep in his own territory from the 9. And has another completion. This one to Brian Blades, the former All-Pro. Pro Bowler back in 1989. He had 77 catches.
I tell you, this is just a simple out route, and that is a well-timed throw right there. Rick hit the out route exactly the right time, good timing, and I'll tell you, he's on a roll right now. I think, what's that, Dan, 7 straight or so?
7 straight for Meyer. That's a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. Pitch to Warren around the left side, flag thrown as Gerald Williams runs Warren out of bounds. But we'll wait and see what the penalty is.
That was student body right. The pitch play going all the way back to college sweeps.
Well, it appears that Bert Grossman, the San Diego defensive end, might have been drawn offside by Rick Meyer.
Don't tell me Rick's already mastered that. The hard count. Look at him.
Offside.
I think
number 92 defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Bert Grossman also hurt in the preseason. Had a strained neck. Did not play in the team's final preseason game. And really, this is just the first week that Bobby Ross's defensive line has played together. First and 10 from the 21. Myers pass over the head of Doug Thomas. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10. Donald Frank on the coverage. Rick Meyer held his draft day press conference at the Goshen Golf Course.
All right, Rick.
He, of course, urged by the NFL to do that in New York among the bright lights, but it's pretty much the kind of guy that Rick Meyer is. Wants to stay out of the limelight and just is a small-town Midwestern boy from Goshen.
I think that's going to play into his hands in the NFL. Seems to have a good presence and a good feel of who he really is. Not making more of it than what it is.
More flags on the play as Warren sprints to the outside. Junior Seau and Gary Plummer ran him out of bounds.
Junior Seau being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I think the last time the Chargers are on there, it was Bert Grossman with something like foul mouth. Or what was it?
I think it was big mouth.
Big mouth. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Excuse me, Bert.
Howard Rowe, the referee.
Illegal motion on the offense. 32 moving forward and to the line of scrimmage before the snap. Brings up third down.
John L. Williams, illegal motion. He's number 32. There he is moving before the snap.
You're allowed as a back to move laterally, but you can't be moving towards the line of scrimmage.
So another third down conversion attempt for Meyer. 3rd and 12. Over the middle, complete to Williams. And he's across the 20, but maybe a gain of 1, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the punting unit for Seattle comes on. Junior Seau in on the stop here.
Yeah. Very athletic play. Starting to drop back. Actually had him in pass coverage there. Junior had him man for man. Good call by Bill Arnsparger there. And kind of a conservative call by Seattle. But again, having their rookie quarterback 3rd and 12, that's a turf spot to have him. It was actually a good call there.
Rick Tootin's punt fielded by Darian Gordon, the number 1 draft pick out of Stanford, and he has the catch at the 49-yard line. But the Seahawks still have a 10-9 lead. Well, next Sunday, NBC Sports presents an action-packed NFL doubleheader. Of course, it begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time with NFL Live. Then most of you will see Joe Montana and the Chiefs against the Houston Oilers. Some will see the Colts take on the Bengals. And then in the game 2 of our doubleheader, most of you will see the rematch of Super Bowl 27 between the Bills and the Cowboys. Others see the Steelers and the Rams. And some of you will see the San Diego Chargers take on the Denver Broncos. And a reminder, don't forget, coming up at halftime, the NFL Domino's Pizza halftime report with Jim Lampley, Mike Ditka, and O.J. Simpson. All the day's highlights in week 1 of this NFL season. Marion Butts takes the handoff from Stan Humphries. So Seattle, with the early touchdown run by Joe Nash, an interception return, the 2nd of his career. With a 7-0 lead, the Casey field goal making it 10-7. They now lead 10-9. In the last 3 possessions, though, for the Chargers, they've resulted in field goals. John Carney, the last of them, a 50-yarder. And that has been all the offense so far. Butts again, seemingly on his way to a 100-yard game. I believe puts him over the 70-yard mark already. Stevens makes the stop.
This is banging the nose tackle. This is why you don't want to play in the middle of the line. The Chargers kind of put their tight end in motion here and then put the back in the backfield. Watch him come inside now and actually cut the nose guard for Seattle. That's why you don't, all the kids out there, parents, tell your kids you don't want to play nose guard for defense. All kinds of bad things can happen to you. People can hit you from all over the place.
There's Joe Nash.
There's Joe Nash. Tough place to play.
And this is Natrone Means. Now the fake was to Natrone Means, and coming out of the backfield was Alfred Papunu, who hauls in the Humphries pass. Patrick Hunter tackled him. Beautiful play fake.
Great play fake. Good call here, too. Stan did a very good job with the fake. You just see he flat fooled the secondary for Seattle. Gets his tight end down the hash mark.
So, surprise. Big catch for Papuno. That is his first NFL catch. Second-year man out of Weber State. And a first down for the Chargers on the 15. As Marion Butts gets the call. So a little surprise tactics there. They bring in the rookie, Natrone Means. Seemingly the Seahawks thinking he might get his first NFL carry, and the play fake to him, and they connect with Papunu for the big gain and a chance to score here with 3:56 and counting in the first half.
I think San Diego's doing a good job of mixing up their people. By that I mean they've got 2 tight ends at times, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. And they're doing an excellent job here mixing things up against Seattle.
Humphries to the air. And a diving Anthony Miller unable to come up with it. Miller covered by Dwayne Harper. And that'll bring up 3rd and 9.
In that case, they put their tight end in motion all the way outside, actually the H-back here, and brought him back in on the little delay and tried to get Miller behind him. Excellent call, and actually had Seattle one-on-one there, but Stan, you can see his reaction here. Just missed it.
He knew he had a chance for the touchdown with Miller. Johnny Barnes and Sean Jefferson, along with Ronnie Harmon, have come in for the Chargers on 3rd and 9. Humphries, incomplete.
Stan had 2 shots there, just missed that one, a little bit behind. They would have had the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line. Stan just missed that, brought it just behind the receiver, really.
Intended for Anthony Miller.
Here you can take a look at the pass rush. A little line stunt by Seattle, but good protection by San Diego, and you can see Stan delivering the ball. He's a little worried about that safety inside there, Dan. He wanted to protect his field goal here, and he wanted to put that someplace where Seattle couldn't get a hand on it. And I think that worried him a little bit that the safety was inside.
Well, here's John Carney in to attempt his 4th field goal of the game. He's hit 3 for 3 so far. And this one from 32 yards is good. And John Carney has run a streak to 19 straight.
Last 4 drives, field goals.
So the Chargers chipping away with 4 Carney field goals have taken the lead. Their first of the game, 12-10. Yeah, both of these clubs have had success in the draft, especially this year, where the Seattle Seahawks kept all 7 of their draft choices made the team, led by the 2nd player picked overall, Rick Myers. And San Diego also with a history of successful draft picks. 8 of their 9 draft picks made the team.
I was talking to Tom Flores, and Tom Flores said the one thing that he wanted to do is upgrade the speed on this team, and that's what they purposely went after in the last 2 drafts. And I think that's his imprint on this Seattle squad. He's trying to upgrade their speed, and I think that's why they kept all those rookies. They can all run, and they're hoping that they're going to mature into good players for him.
Well, a nightmarish season. Tom Flores told us that he has awakened from the nightmare. 2-14 season last year after being out of the coaching game for the few years as the acting general manager for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Bill Parcells comes back into a tough situation. Tom Flores comes back into a tough situation. That's what makes me glad that I'm up here. It's a little easier up here. And you know, the other thing, Dan, I'm getting a lot smarter up here. About 150 yards away from all that, making those calls.
Well, this is Carney's kickoff, and John Vaughn fields it in the corner of the end zone, and that'll come out to the 20. 3:15 left in the first half. San Diego has its first lead of the game, and thanks to that guy, John Carney.
Yeah, I vote him as our first half player of the game.
And
this guy's done it all.
Gil Bird, who is on IR for the season. He will not play for the rest of the season. He injured his knee in practice, had surgery on it, and he wants to come back and play next year, but the veteran will travel with the team as well this year.
He'll travel, he'll coach some, and a class guy. They love him. Interception leader here. A bad knee injury, but seems to be walking around, still has the cast on, but doing well at practice yesterday. I talked to him for a long time. He likes coaching, likes being around football. Real classy guy.
He wants to talk with the players as they come off the field and help out that secondary for San Diego as Warren gets to about the 24-yard line. Gerald Williams and Leslie O'Neal on the stop for San Diego.
Seattle now deciding to spread everybody out. A little different tactic here. Most of these plays, when you put this many receivers, wide receivers in the game, and they're actually splitting the tight end out, these will be mostly audibles. They're going to hand off like they did the first play. If they get San Diego setting back, they'll be throwing, such as they're doing right here, if they get them in a little tighter.
Myers' pass complete to the tight end, Paul Green. And he'll have the first down as the clock is stopped at 2:36 left in the first half. Darian Gordon, the first-round draft pick out of Stanford.
This is actually a little change in philosophy here. Kind of interesting. What amounts to is 4 wide receiver set at this time. Seattle changing things up.
more good yardage, good for 6 or 7 yards to the 38.
Junior's mad at himself on that one. He came back inside. He tried to walk a little bit, came back inside, and they actually ran Warren up inside him without a blocker on Juniors. Not many times you'll see that. He didn't make the tackle.
And we've hit the 2-minute warning here in San Diego.
That's a 2-minute warning.
Trail at 12-10. 4 field goals by John Carney, the offense. San Diego Chargers, the defending AFC West Division champions, and the owner of the Chargers, Alex Spanos, along with the newest addition to his front office, Bob Hope.
Hey, Bob maybe going to call a few plays here.
Bobby
Sitting
Beathard
up there with Bobby Beathard.
Yeah,
Is that what Bobby did all those years when I was down the sideline working? Sat up there with stars.
2 minutes left in the first half. San Diego with a 12-10 lead. 2nd down and 4. Myers Gibbs to Williams, who picks up the first down, and the Seahawks with a chance to at least put a field goal on the board here as the first half comes to a close.
Well, hurry up offense now. Good job by Rick right here, handling everything. A rookie, put in the situation, his first 2-minute drive.
And he'll go down for the 2nd time this game. Chris Mims, who just reported into the Charger lineup, brings him down. A 2nd-year man out of Tennessee, former
Timeout.
#1 draft choice.
Seattle. Charge team timeout.
As the
That's
Seahawks
the 42nd
call timeout.
That's Seattle's first Charge team timeout.
Here you see Rick going back. And actually, the thing that you try and sell any young quarterback, Dan, is, hey, you can always come back from a sack. You really can. What you can't come back from is an interception or a turnover. And a couple times a day I've seen Rick kind of go back, make nothing's there, chose to run with the football, make a few yards, get back to the line of scrimmage. You can always come back from 2nd and 10 and hit it here. He's made some good decisions today. Had 1 interception, but I thought that was a great play by the defense, to tell you the truth.
Well, for Chris Mims, he tied Tampa Bay's Santana Dotson for the most sacks by a rookie last year. He had 10. That was 2nd on the team to Leslie O'Neal's 17. But he was a consensus all-rookie and will get even more playing time this year. Added 25 pounds of muscle to his frame in the offseason. And he is pushing Sean Lee for that starting spot on the left side of the defensive line of San Diego. Another reminder, the halftime report coming up. Jim Lampley, Mike Ditka, and O.J. Simpson. 1:32 left here in the first half as Meyer goes to the air and goes down. And it's Mims and Grossman. We'll see who they give credit to. 3rd sack of the afternoon on Meyer.
This is one of the things Seattle's worried about. Their offensive line and getting protection. And they've had some problems with the offensive line, and they were concerned about containing San Diego's pass rush.
3rd and 13 over the outstretched hands of Doug Thomas. All over him was Darian Gordon.
Seattle tried to come out there, Dan, change things up, going to a 2-minute offense there when they got the ball out to midfield there with 4 wide receivers and got themselves in pass protection trouble. When you open up all sides like that and there's no tight ends and there's 2 open edges, it puts you at a real risk on the pass rush, and they couldn't hold up there without getting some help from their back and tight ends.
Rick Tootin back to punt for Seattle, and back deep for San Diego. On his 15 is Gordon. Backed up Glenn Milburn in punt returning duties at Stanford when he was there, and he has the job at least to the start of this season here in San Diego, but he is thrown back for a loss at the 4-yard line. Excellent coverage by Seattle. Doug Thomas in on the stop. 54-yard punt by Tootin.
This is one of my pet peeves here, Dan. You want to wind up with this football right here. What I would tell my quarterback right here is say, listen, we want to wind up with the football, make first downs. Give me a first down or 2. I definitely don't want to go into any kind of a hurry-up type offense right here, because you can get yourself in trouble and turn that ball back over. On downs or any kind of a turnover here, you're going to give points to Seattle. You need to be real careful. These things used to bother me to death as a coach right here with these 2-minute drives right before half.
I think Bobby Beathard can listen all the way across the stadium there, Joe. We'll see if the Chargers indeed keep it on the ground. They do, at least on the 1st and 10. Marion Butts, as the clock ticks down to 50 seconds left. Raphael Robinson in on the stop for Seattle.
Good job by San Diego. Run the football. Stan came over and looked. Do you want me to go to the 2 minutes? They said no. Seattle's now bringing in players to go to nickel. I'd run that thing again, get a first down, and then maybe take a shot.
Well, it is a first down from the 17. As Butts this time stopped behind the line of scrimmage by Cortez Kennedy.
San Diego is going to just run the clock out here. 2nd down and 10. They're content to just run this and hold on to the ball. Make sure they have it last.
Butts has now increased his yardage to 84 yards. He's on his way to what could be a 100-yard game.
A lot of people boo in that situation, but I think that was smart on San Diego's part. Too far to go.
Halftime here in San Diego, as the Chargers have 4 John Carney field goals to take a 12-10 lead. And we will return and be right back after these messages from the NFL and a word from your local station.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza, plus something for nothing.
And welcome back to our NFL Live studio in New York. I'm Jim Lampley, along with Mike Ditka and O.J. Simpson, and the Seattle Seahawks hanging in their juice against the supposedly playoff-bound Chargers.
Hey, you know, I'm impressed by what they've done. Not only last year in Seattle, but this year. They don't have much talent up there. They didn't do much in the free agent market, but they're hanging in there. Great defense, Tom Catlett's defense. Tom Flores has had the ability to adjust his offensive philosophy. He has a rookie quarterback in Rick Meyer. He's used to that Raider system. That's what he came up in. Instead of throwing the ball downfield, he's going ball control. They call it ball control rock'em sock'em football. I call it Mike Ditka, Bill Parcells boring football, but it's working for him today.
And they'll have money to spend under the salary cap next year, so if Meyer develops, maybe they can be dangerous. Take a quick look at a couple of other games ongoing right now. The New York Giants took a 9-0 lead on 3 field goals against the Chicago Bears. The Bears scored on the last play before halftime on a 2-yard touchdown pass by Jim Harbaugh. Up to that point, Mike Ditka, the Bears' offense was completely dormant.
Well, really, their offense has really been a 2-minute offense. That's the only offense that they've had the whole day, and really that's bad because you can't stay in that offense the whole day. They have to get another offense going. The Giants missed some key opportunities, though. You don't take the ball down to the 1-yard line and not get in. But that's a credit to the Bears' defense. That's what they're doing well right now. They're playing good, sound defense, and that's going to keep them in all the games and give them a chance to win a lot of them.
Traditionally, the Bears have handled New York and Chicago. Didn't happen last year, but maybe it's about to take hold again this year. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Raiders are entertaining the Minnesota Vikings in the Coliseum, and here's a shocker. At halftime, it is 21-0. The supposedly bedraggled Raiders leading the Vikes 21-0. And Mike, I have to confess to being one of those who thought that Jeff Hostetler was exactly the wrong quarterback for the Raiders. He's 14 of 15 in the first half.
Entertaining, that's a good word. Jeff Hostetler got so much heart. I mean, he's got a lot of character out there. That guy's got a great heart. He's going to do whatever he has to do to put points on the board and help that team win. I like the heck out of him. I mean, I just watched him, not the 14 out of 15. He's running for a first down. He's diving over guys, diving for the yard marker. I mean, that's what this game's all about. I mean, he makes a pretty good salary, not as much as some of those other guys, but he's throwing his body around.
A pretty good salary indeed, Juice.
Yeah, I think his ability to improvise. The Raiders have a lot of athletes on their offense. His ability to buy time and improvise, allow those wide receivers to get open, and that's what's been working for him.
Making Tim Brown a factor again. Meanwhile, let's quickly run through some of the earlier scoring due for the San Francisco 49ers. Also threw 3 TD passes, but Young surrendered 3 interceptions in a slightly different day than the one Montana enjoyed. Showing no ill effects from his fractured thumb, Young got this 5-yard TD pass to Jerry Rice in the first quarter to make it 10-0 San Francisco. Later, another touchdown pass to Rice. It was 17-3 San Francisco. Barry Foster had a pretty good day after coming back last week. Scored on that 5-yard TD run to get the Steelers close, but then Young got the insurance TD with his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. That one to Brent Jones. He did throw 3 interceptions, but helped the Niners to a 24-13 win. New England traveled to play against Buffalo, and the Patriots, with their new look, hung in for a long time against the Bills before the Bills flooded them with touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Bill Parcells a little exasperated with what he saw early, as the Patriots were more mistake-prone today than in preseason. After one fumble, that Kelly to Brooks touchdown pass made it 10-0 Buffalo Bills. Then Bledsoe got his first touchdown pass as a pro. On 4th and 1 from the 46, he throws to tight end Ben Coates. Coates breaks the Odoms tackle, goes 54 yards, and Drews, #1 pick in the draft, had his first TD pass. But moments later, the Bills came back. Kelly down the middle to Andre Reed, who had a huge day. Reed breaking the tackles across the middle, goes in from 41 yards out, made it 17-7 Buffalo at the half. In the third quarter, Bledsoe's second touchdown pass pulled the Parcells Pats to within 17-14, but then Kelly hit Reed again, this time from 22 yards out. Kelly wound up with another touchdown pass. The Bills went on to a 38-14 win on good days for both Kelly and Thurman Thomas. Green Bay pounded the Rams 36-6. Brett Favre with an early long one to Sterling Sharp, 264 yards and 2 TDs overall. And the New York Jets were at home to play the Denver Broncos. This is a game the Jets will be shaking their heads about for quite some time, as they wound up having a chance in a game in which they appeared to have been blown out early. Former Jet defensive lineman Dennis Byrd, with the honorary coin toss at the beginning of the game, fired up the Jets fans, but they fell down 20-6, came back, almost got them. Elway and the Broncos hang on 26-20. Phoenix traveling to Philadelphia and hoping for a good start. Gary Clark dropped 4 passes in his first game as a Phoenix Cardinal. Garrison Hurst rushed 12 times for only 7 yards. And the Eagles, with a big day from Randall Cunningham, beat the Cards 23-17. Miami traveling to Indianapolis, and the Dolphins got a big scare from the Colts, as Don Shula is 7 victories away from passing George Halas to become the all-time winningest coach in the league. He watched some early Dolphin mistakes. O.J. McDuffie fumbling a punt at the Indianapolis 44-yard line. Rodney Culver picked up the loose ball, went 56 yards for the TD. Indianapolis was up 7-0. Marino came back, however, with plenty of time here. He goes down the middle to Keith Jackson. That was Jackson's second TD reception of the day. It put Miami up 17-10 in the third. Colts came back, however. Jack Trudeau to California rookie Sean Dawkins from 25 yards out. That tied it at 17 apiece. Then a Biasucci field goal put the Colts in front 20-17. Dolphins rolled in the last 5 minutes down the field with less than a minute to go. Marino to Greg Beatty. 25th fourth quarter comeback of Marino's illustrious career, and the Dolphins hold on to win 24-20 despite a brilliant effort by the Colts. Atlanta falls to Detroit. Barry Sanders got it going early with a 26-yard TD run, and the Lions wind up with a 30-13 win in which Rodney Peete was efficient and effective. Cleveland fell down 14-0 to the Cincinnati Bengals, and then the Browns came from behind to beat Cincinnati 27-14. Clearly, gentlemen, the biggest event of the day, the comeback of Joe Montana, his debut in a Kansas City uniform. By all accounts, he was terrific. Mike?
You got to love it. I think this guy could be the answer to what they're looking for, really. He could be that catalyst, not only as a player, but I think as an inspiration and a leader for them to get him over the hump, get him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and not just him, but Marcus Allen as well.
And I didn't mean to leave him out either.
Yeah, well, Marcus had a great day today, averaged 6 yards a carry, but the focus has been on Montana. They say he's fragile, but every quarterback today is fragile. The way these linebackers come at him, his ability is still there, and he showed that today.
We are at halftime of the San Diego Chargers and the Seattle Seahawks, with the Chargers leading the surprising Hawks 12-10. We'll bring you back for more on NBC's coverage of the National Football League after these words from your local stations.
Murphy Stadium, the San Diego Chargers, the defending AFC West Division champions, with a 12-10 lead over the Seattle Seahawks. But it was what? Just 14 years ago when Joe Gibbs was Charger assistant here.
Mothers, don't let your sons grow up to be coaches. They could look like this. From that to this. That's what this will do to you.
But you know, the really tough one that I had a hard time pointing out was the team photo that year, where you were the offensive coordinator under Don Coryell. I went up and down before I had no idea that you kind of a young Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
shorts
I
there.
don't know what. Don't say that to me. Don't say that. You hurt me with that one. It's bad enough.
Well, let's talk about the game in the first half. The Seattle Seahawks couldn't get an offensive touchdown, but they did get the early defensive touchdown. Joe Nash able to break loose on the 13-yard interception return early in the game here.
Yeah, both excellent defenses here, and this is a big play. Stan gets the ball batted up in the air. Nash picks it off and scores with it, and That's a tough way to start. I tell you, it's probably good that that happened to Stan, and from their standpoint, not a rookie quarterback.
And then the 4 field goals for San Diego. This a 50-yarder from John Carney, who has now hit 19 straight, and that's been all the offense that the Chargers have been able to muster.
But I think the Chargers are starting to take hold of the game, Dan, as after a couple of bad series to start the game. I think they've kind of started to take over the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is Carney's kickoff in the hands of John Vaughn. And he'll take it out to about the 26-yard line as we take a look at the halftime stats. And they reflect a big advantage in yardage for the San Diego Chargers, especially all those yards that were made in the second quarter when San Diego went up and down the field almost at will, settling for field goals.
I always like to look at yards rushing. It kind of tells the physical part of the game, and you can see there it's almost 3-1 San Diego once they kind of got rolling there.
And most of those yards have been picked up by Marion Butts, but this is Rick Meyer and the Seahawks starting out 1st and 10 from the 26, and Chris Warren. Good room on the right side. Flag on the play as Warren went out of bounds. And we'll see what the call is from Howard Rowe.
This may have been holding on the right offensive end, tight end. They had 2 tight ends in there by Seattle. The other thing you got to be careful for here on the sidelines, you always got to be very careful. A personal foul, that's what it is. You got to be careful in the NFL on the sidelines.
Personal
you can't
foul.
hit anybody around the
Unnecessary roughness. On the defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty on Floyd Fields, the strong safety, and that'll tack on more yardage after Chris Warren's run.
Yeah, I think a takedown there by the back. They missed that. But on the sideline here, you have to be careful on the sidelines. And I'd say that in the NFL, every coach is telling the players before the game starts, got to be careful hitting the quarterback, careful hitting somebody on the sidelines in the NFL. They're going to call it.
From their own 26 now to the San Diego 47. And this is Warren again. Warren out of Ferrum College, a Division III school that not exactly is listed among college football powerhouses, but it's located in Ferrum, Virginia, has 1,500 students. And the big rival for Ferrum College was Emory and Henry, I learned yesterday in our chat with Chris Warren.
Yeah, we asked Chris Warren that, what's a big game? Emory and Henry was a big game for them. This is much bigger.
Well, we've been saying that John Carney has 19 straight field goals. He indeed has 20 straight field goals, and the NFL record is Kevin Butler with 24. But that story remains to be developed as this game goes on, as flags are thrown from every direction.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Mark Mosley, our kicker at the Redskins, held that record at 23, I think, before Butler beat him with 24. And I tell you what, that is some kind of consistency.
Well, the play clock down to 40 seconds. Another one of the rule changes in the NFL. Down from 45 seconds, and the offense caught off guard there. The delay of game brings up 2nd and 12. And this is John L. Williams, brought down in the backfield by O'Neal.
Now that delay of game there, and that rule change going down to 40 seconds is one I really disagree with, Dan. Here you see just a little handoff and penetration. Again, what Seattle's done here, tried to spread out the defense and just a base handoff to the fullback. But I disagree with that. I basically said, hey, you're going to get penalties because of it and delay the game anyway. They were trying to speed the game up. Or you're going to get people calling timeout to avoid the penalties. So in both cases, I think it was counterproductive.
6 defensive backs for the Chargers secondary on 3rd and 16. Meyer's got a lot of room to run. And he'll dive for the first down. But I'm not sure if he picked it up. He needed to get to about the 37.
Now that's a rookie quarterback for you. I talked to him yesterday about this. And I said, remember, Rick, you got to go feet first in pro ball. And he goes, yeah, I got to remember that. When you go head first, they're allowed to hit you. If you go feet first, you call out you're down, then the defense is not allowed to hit you. In this case, Rick Meyer's a competitor. He was going for the first down. I like that in him. And it was a big play for Seattle.
So just short of the first down by 2 yards. Seattle will punt the ball away. Rick Tootin. High kick. And the Seahawks able to down it at about the 1 yard line. That is Michael Bates. So an excellent punt by Tootin. And the Chargers come out leading 12-10.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. By Lennox, when quality gas heating is a must be a Lennox. By KFC, we are KFC, we do chicken right. And by the great taste of Diet Pepsi, you got the right one, baby,
Well, Rick Tootin just put on a clinic with his punt, and Michael Bates actually waiting on the goal line.
This is what world-class speed does for you. He was down there waiting, and that was a classic pooch punt. In other words, the idea there is to get the ball as high as you can, Rick, let it drop in there and let somebody recover it, and hopefully pin San Diego inside the 20. In this case, it's inside the 1.
Well, they are pinned in a power formation. Steve Hendrickson stands in front of Natrone Means, who will be lucky to get across the goal line. The Seahawks calling for a safety, but
I'll tell you, that was very close, Dan. I wasn't sure he got out of there.
Kevin Murphy stopped Natrone Means, the rookie out of North Carolina, with his first NFL carry just across the goal line.
San Diego went to their goal line offense right there and just tried to power that ball out. Got into what they would run in a short yardage or goal line situation. And I tell you, it backfired on them. They came close to getting a safety on that. I think they're going to split them back out here. Yeah, they got White out in now.
Butts back in the game. Humphries fakes to him and batted down at the line of scrimmage by Jeff Bryant.
That was a guts call right there. You're on the 1 yard line. You run the risk of a safety and everything else, but it could have been a big play. San Diego made a very bold call there. Ball gets batted away from Stan. He's had a couple of balls hit today. First day in preseason and first game in preseason, and for real, and a few balls batted around. Those quarterbacks have to be able to see those lanes and kind of slide a little bit.
Well, that almost looked like a replay of Joe Nash's early interception in the opening moments of this game, he returned it for a touchdown to put the Seahawks up. Now on 3rd and 10, Humphries rolling and finding Anthony Miller. And he picks up the first down.
This is a good job of moving the pocket. Stan Humphries rolling out where he stays away from that pass rush and just hit a little outright on the outside. A good timing route. Those are kind of, we call these dashes or sprints to one side, kind of moving the pocket away from the pass rush. Had he been in the pocket, you see the defensive lineman in there, he probably could have been sacked there. Good throw by Stan on the run. Miller doing a good job of coming back to the ball.
A big first down pickup for San Diego, which now has some breathing room at the 15. And this is Butts. Maybe a yard, but no more. Brought down by Kevin Murphy, who left the game earlier with a right shoulder stinger, but he is back in there. There is Kevin Murphy in his 7th year out of Oklahoma. He got the start today for Rufus Porter, who is out of the lineup, pulled hamstring. And they miss Rufus Porter, the former 2-time Pro Bowler, special teams man, who is now listed as the starting linebacker. Eric Bieniemy in the game for San Diego on 2nd and 9. And Bieniemy gets the call across the 15, about the 17, hit hard by Rod Stevens. And Stevens had been the backup to David Wyman, but he signed with the Denver Broncos, and Rod Stevens is now in the starting lineup for Seattle.
I think I recognize that play. Watch this counter tray. This is the Redskins. We run this probably 3,000 times, I've called this. In that case, Seattle, that was a great hit. Line of scrimmage. Basically what you're doing there is pulling the backside guard and tackle and trapping to the onside. That was a play that we got originally from Nebraska. Started running in Pro Bowl.
3rd and 7. And Humphries dumps it over the middle to Ronnie Harmon, who fights for first down yardage. And it'll be close.
That's Ronnie Harmon's job right there. catch those third down passes.
The leading receiver in the NFL among running backs last year was 79 reception, 35 of them for first downs.
Look how they're handling Cortez inside. What's that, 2? Up, 3. Somebody else getting a hand on him. That's what it takes to keep the big fella out of there.
But Harmon picks up the first down, and Humphreys throwing, and that was dangerous. Intended for Sean Jefferson, but Dwayne Harper had a chance to step in front and go all the way had he been able to do so.
That's a timing route on the outside. We saw Seattle roll up on that twice. They know that San Diego likes it. Little hitch route on the outside. The danger with that pass is just what happened there to Stan. They jump in front of it. That ball's got to travel a long ways. It's one of our absolute best passes at Washington. A very simple pass. Turns into an up route if they press him. Sometimes your simple things are the best. Sometimes you got to be very careful with the quarterback there. Almost got in trouble.
That's Derek Walker in motion on 2nd and 10. Humphreys will go down for the first time, and it's the Tez. Picking up his first sack of 93.
A play-action pass in this case. A good call. But what Cortez Kennedy, he doesn't take the run fake here. Gets around to the outside. Just kind of has good leverage. You look at him as a coach. You look at that guy and you say, how could that guy be the kind of player he is? He looks kind of heavy and bubbly, but he has great leverage. He's all over the place, bouncing around in there. We could never get him down on the ground with Washington, and he is a thorn in your side and doing a better job. He says his weakness is pass rushing. He did a real good job there, rushing the pass.
3rd and 18, flag on the play. Humphreys left side, looping one toward Anthony Miller, incomplete. And the holding call against San Diego. So this drive has turned into nothing in a hurry. The Cortez Kennedy sack forced him into the 3rd down and 18 situation. And then they say enough of that. We're going to just book in Tez.
Holding
that play.
Number 70 on the offense. Penalties decline. Brings up 4th down.
That was actually the same form of play that they used on that 1-yard line down there to get out of the hole. This time they ran the outside receiver, ran the same route Miller did, then pumped it to go deep. And took a shot at trying to get a deep play there. And sliding away from Cortez Kennedy was a good idea, too. Move that pocket. Get the quarterback moving around so the lineman can't count on where he's going to be.
That's Kelvin Martin back deep to get his first punt from John Kidd, who booms one, drives Martin back to the 29. And he's brought down at the 35. A 55-yard punt by John Kidd. Alfred Papuno ran Martin out of bounds. And the Seahawks will work from their 35. Tom Flores told us yesterday we got to be better than last year. We were 2-14. His club is very much into this game, trailing San Diego 12-10. The crowd here at Jack Murphy, though, urging the defense and trying to rattle Rick Meyer. Play action fake, and this one complete to Brian Blades. Donald Frank among the Charger defenders.
That's the same little out route that Stan almost got picked off. Both teams throwing it at each other. I tell you, that was a good play by Rick there, throwing over a body coming after him. The linebacker there was up in the air.
And we hadn't really heard from the Jack Murphy crowd until now, but they want this Charger defense to hold on 2nd and 1. You see what Seattle's done the last 3 possessions. And on the 3rd down call, Warren will be short.
In on the stop, number 92, Bert Grossman.
Bert Grossman in the stop.
What you hate to do is, like 2nd 1, I just kind of hate to see a team go outside there. I mean, you got a big back there. I prefer with 1 yard. So many things can happen to you when you have to start running laterally back there. I'd rather pound it at them in that situation.
Well, here's the 3rd down situation for Tom Flores. Bill Arnsparger's defense digging in. And Meyer will pick up the first down. He's got John L. Williams out of the backfield. So the Seahawks convert their first third down situation of the day.
This is an athletic move now by Rick Mirer. Watch how quick he gets rid of this ball. There's a guy right in his face, right there, and he knows he's going to get hit. Good concentration, good job, and particularly throwing to your left in that case. That's not easy.
Seattle, first down at the Chargers' 48-yard line.
Rick Mirer, Notre Dame's all-time leader in touchdown passes, looking for his first as a pro. The crowd continuing to swell. Mirer with a lot of time, but is not able to get rid of it. Leslie O'Neal brings him down. Rick Mirer, the fourth time he's been dragged down today.
You would love to open at home with a rookie quarterback. He's going against the crowd and everybody else here. Actually had plenty of time. Seattle did a great job, play action, good protection. That was really a coverage sack. There was nobody for Rick to throw to in that case. Good job by the Chargers coverage.
And another sack for O'Neal. 2nd and 16. Meyer's got one, but it'll be well short. Junior Seau brings him down right after he made the reception.
The advantage to having John L. is that he is a great pass receiver. In that case, they just motioned him out of the backfield to the outside. A good play by Junior. Brings up a 3rd and long here. The crowd now is what Rick's got to go against besides the Chargers.
Junior Seau leading the cheers. The ball at the midfield stripe, 3rd and 12. Mirer complete, but right there is Junior Seau, and he is fired up. The only AFC unanimous choice to start in his 2nd straight Pro Bowl.
Most guys would have pulled a hamstring when on that celebration he just had right there. Watch this tackle. Man alive. Excellent tackle. Then he gets up right here. And right there is a guy excited.
Right there is a motor that never seems to stop as Rick Tootin punts it away to Darian Gordon. Calls for the fair catch at the 15. And that's where the Chargers will begin. 3:39 left in the 3rd. Well, the man cooling off is Junior Seau. He's come so far just in his 4th year at a USC. He's really rise to become one of the elite players of the game, Joe, but he told us yesterday he wants to help the team win the great games. And the great game for him, he says, will be in Atlanta next January, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he says he wants to be there. Of course, a lot of people are picking San Diego because they looked so good last year, and Bobby Ross and Bobby Beth have done a great job putting this team together. It's a long ways, but certainly guys like Junior can get you there.
And Natrone Means, the rookie out of North Carolina, with another carry. The back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher at North Carolina had an excellent preseason. The Chargers have high hopes for Natrone, who averaged over 6 yards a carry in the preseason.
It's a little outside running play here. They love this guy. They really were high on him. Bobby was high on him. Coming out of North Carolina, of course, I tell you, they've got a lot of confidence in him to put him in a game like this at this point in the game. To put a rookie in here, it says they had a lot of confidence in him.
Miller in motion to the near side, and Means again. Good yardage across the 20. Brought down by Kevin Murphy. Natrone Means is 5'10", 245 pounds. The size of a Merriam Butts, but he's got so many moves. He can go to the left or the right on a dime.
Great change of direction. I was always afraid of playing rookies in the opening game, particularly for you, particularly a ball carrier. It just makes you nervous as a coach. So Bobby Ross has a lot of confidence here.
3rd and 4. Ronnie Harmon into the offensive set. And Humphrey's got Derek Walker. And Walker very close to a first down.
This is a play that San Diego used a lot last year. It is a option play to the tight end. See him come across. Now the receivers will be clearing things out upfield, be running deep routes, and then they just work an option route to the tight end. He can break in, out if it's man coverage, or in that case, if it's zone, just set down the hole.
Derek Walker, the H-back, you kind of made that position famous. Derek says besides the quarterback and the center, the H-back needs to know where everybody is on the field.
They have to be one of the smartest guys on your team because they do so much.
Here's Natrone Means. Brought down by Terry Wooden, but the rookie, impressive in his early NFL career.
This is that little play where they move the tight end across the formation, and you see him actually double the nose with the H-back in the backfield. Now, that H-back has to be able to block. Dan, he's got to be able to catch, run with the football. When I described him, the scouts told me, you just described Superman. There's no such guy.
Derek says he doesn't like the H-back tag. He'd rather be called the tight end. Natrone Means for the first down. The fourth running back chosen in this year's draft.
This is that isolation play that we've been talking about earlier, the fullback leading, and Natrone doing a good job. Now you see him, great balance there, kind of picking his leg up in the hole, and actually one linebacker had a good shot on him. And a very powerful, low center of gravity.
There he is again. Means across the 45 up to midfield and in Seahawk territory.
Believe me, this is driving Seattle crazy. Rusty does not want people running on this defense. He's got 8 guys up there, and San Diego's still running.
He's given Marion Butts a spell, and right when you're through with Marion Butts, you got to deal with this guy, Natrone Means.
Rusty right there, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he starts dogging a little bit here, because he's putting 8 up there, and San Diego's still running. This is frustrating for him, of course, and San Diego kind of has the hold on things right now. I'll tell you, they're moving
at the end of the third
Time
quarter.
runs out into the third quarter. Stan Humphries and San Diego holding on to a 12-10 lead. We'll be back right after these messages from your local station. Well, I hope the Seattle defense is in good condition today. 5 plays, 3 minutes and 39 seconds on this Charger drive, and see what the Seahawk defense needs a blow perhaps right now.
Even Coach Flores needs a blow.
This is Means on the carry. It's 90 degrees down there on the field. It's a spectacular day here in San Diego as Joe Nash and some of the Chargers get in a scuffle, but very warm out there today, and this Charger offense just eats up time and really tests the conditioning of the defense right now.
When you're running the football, Dan, that's one thing that happens to the defense. You just kind of wear them down. We saw the guys at the break there, Seattle on one knee. They've been out there a long time, and it wears your defensive football team down. That's probably what's happened to Seattle with not being able to move it offensively. They left their defense out too long on the field right now.
Scoreless third quarter, and third down and 5. Humphries to the air. And Anthony Miller thrown to the ground by Robert Blackman, who gets called for the penalty.
I tell you, I got to disagree with that one. If I was Coach Flores right now, I'd be upset. You're trying to get the guy down. He's 1 yard away from getting a first down. You do everything you can. Blackman, in that case, slams it.
Personal foul on a defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that is the second time Robert Blackman has been called for unsportsmanlike conduct today.
He makes a good play here. He knows he's 1 yard away, and he's trying to keep the receiver from getting to 1 yard. If that's me, I got to disagree with that.
Well, the gain by Miller, and now the penalty tacked on as the ball at the 32-yard line. First and 10 for the Chargers. And here is Means inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line before Kevin Murphy stopped him.
I think the thing that's really upsetting Seattle right now is the fact that the way San Diego's run the ball all day, Dan. That's the thing that's really upsetting them, I know. That's just not something they're used to. Last year they had a tough time offensively all year, but their defense, I felt, played extremely good. And I'm a little surprised that San Diego's being able to run the ball like this. I'm impressed with San Diego.
Let's give credit to the offensive line of the Chargers as well. Pump fake by Humphries. And that pass intended for Means, but nowhere near him. But 3 of the 5 offensive line starters gone from this year's unit. Harry Swain inactive for today's game. He was the big Plan B pickup a couple of years ago. He's out with a shoulder injury, so Eric Moten moves into the left tackle position. Zandowski's up there as well, and Milenchik, the free agent acquisition from the Rams, along with Stan Brock. They are opening up the holes for the Charger running backs. 3rd and 5, though. Humphries will take the sack at the 34, and Michael McCrary, the rookie from Wake Forest, picks up his first NFL sack.
Now, Dan, the difference we mentioned earlier this year, here's where you don't want to take a sack as a quarterback. You're now putting your team back to a point where it's awful tough to get a field goal here. Stan has been around a while. In that case, you'd like to try and get rid of that ball any way possible. This makes a 51-yard field goal for John Carney.
Looking for his 21st straight.
They're putting these are not easy deals right here.
I think it's got enough leg, and it's through the uprights. 5 for 5 for John Carney. And the Chargers take a 15-10 lead. What do you think John Carney's warmed up so far this season, Joe?
I'll tell you what, this is impressive right here. And this is the one chance that everybody gets to get a little shot on the kicker here. He looks like a tough guy, too. A few headbutts in there. And that's about as hard as a kicker gets hit right there. About that hard right there. That's it.
Wow.
They got a pretty good life up here.
5th field goal of the game for Carney. He's 5 for 5. He's had 2 over 50 yards, and now kicks off to Michael Bates. And he'll down it in the end zone, so the Seahawks will come out from the 20.
That's a big weapon right there, I'll tell you.
And we'll be back to Jack Murphy in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By Castrol Syntec, the synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Allied Signals brand filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later.
Well, the first sellout for a home opener in 7 years in San Diego. And as a result, more noise for the rookie Rick Meyer as he begins from the 20. Plenty of time throwing to his right. Intended for Thomas. Floyd Fields was all over Thomas. Actually, it was intended for Farrell Edmonds.
Now you're a rookie. You're going to have to drive this thing 80 yards. But Dan, the thing here, we got a football game. This is only a 5-point difference. If somehow Rick can make a play or two, get him down the field, and I got a feeling he's going to have to do it. Scramble around like he did there and find somebody open in there. This is his chance to win his opening shot.
There's the crowd again. Junior Seau loves it. Meyer's pass intended for Blades, incomplete. So Meyer comes out throwing.
Yeah, and actually that was a good throw right there. Blades could have made him look good on that one.
Sean Van Horst on the coverage, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10. As you see the quarterback comparisons, Meyer with a 1 interception, Humphries with the 2 early interceptions, but it has been San Diego which has relied on an outstanding running game.
Yeah, it's been the running game's been the difference so far. San Diego's been able to run it, and Seattle has not run it effectively.
Meyer going deep down the right sideline, incomplete for Thomas. So 1, 2, 3 passes incomplete for Rick Meyer and the Seahawks, and they'll punt it away. Donald Frank was step for step with Brian Blades.
This is the kind of play right here. This is an excellent play. Now the corner has to turn and look right there. At that point, when he turns and looks, it's fair game for both guys. No pass interference on that. And a very good play there by Donald Frank, I'll tell you. If he doesn't turn around, that referee's going to throw the flag. That's going to be pass interference.
Gordon stands at his 36. And Tootin's punt, another good one, drives him back to the 25. Avoids one tackler and gets it across the 35 to the 36. 55-yard punt by Rick Tootin. San Diego, 5 field goals by John Carney have the lead.
56 yards.
Back in San Diego, the rookie Rick Meyer taking a breather. He's been sacked 4 times today, but has thrown only 1 interception, but has really been the victim of his defense. Being tired out on the field as San Diego has really racked up the rushing yards.
Well, San Diego's got 122. That's not a ton, but that's a lot going into the fourth quarter here. I'd be surprised if they don't try and run it right here.
And that's what they do. This is the enemy.
San Diego wants to control this ball.
Eric Bieniemy, the leading rusher in preseason.
72, Joe Nash.
All-time leading rusher at Colorado. And he is fast. He's got 4.4 speed. And as mentioned earlier, he should get more playing time as Rod Bernstein has departed. There is the more than doubling the Seahawks rushing output.
122 yards for San Diego, 60 to Seattle. They doubled the yardage on the ground. I think they'll try and run it here.
Well, they go to the air and in and out of the hands of Ronnie Harmon. And Rod Stevens applied the hit for Seattle. And the fans here almost, I think they wanted some kind of call on Stevens. But he was just coming in for the hit after the drop by Harmon.
Yeah, I think that was a good play. Just dropped the ball here.
Humphreys, and he has Sean Jefferson for the first down across midfield to the 47.
Seattle chose to dog him right there. Rusty called the dog on the defense and went after him. You see a good shot of the coverage here. And this is what happens on one-on-one. If you get them running, it's awful tough to come back. You see Jefferson did a good job of taking the DB deep into that route and coming back out of it. Good throw by Stan, but those are tough to defend when you're one-on-one. And they were one-on-one because they were bringing linebackers inside.
Jefferson led the team in preseason. In the receiving department, he has the first down, and the Chargers drive alive with 10:40 to go. And this is Bieniemy loose in the secondary down to the Seahawks 36.
Ball carrier number 32, Eric Bieniemy.
This is a different way of running that same little combination where the H-back goes in motion. C89 right here blocking back in on the nose. Blocking back in line there, blocking one of the tackles and opening a huge hole inside for San Diego. Different way of running the same play that we saw him run earlier with the H-back sitting there, moving the tight end.
Another first down. And Humphreys pass complete again. This time to Anthony Miller. For another first down, brought down by Dwayne Harper. I think Stan Humphreys wants to get a touchdown rather than let John Carney come on the field.
I don't know. I like the little scheme of bringing John in there. But Stan right here, play action, ties up everybody inside the linebackers. In this case, goes one-on-one outside because the linebackers are held with the play action coach. Miller is a tough guy to cover one-on-one, Dan. You're going to have some long days doing that.
He's already got 58 yards on 6 receptions. And this is Means. He's inside the 20. And San Diego just really what they did in the second quarter and the third quarter, just almost heading up the field at will against the Seattle defense.
Well, I think San Diego's got depth, particularly at running back. You see here they've had 3 different running backs in there, all of them doing a good job, and the line's done an excellent job, and I think they've wore Seattle down up front. We pointed that out earlier. I'd be surprised to see them do anything but keep it on the ground here.
And they do so. It means again down to about the 16, and it just seems like we're setting themselves up for another Carney field goal attempt. It would be the 6th. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but he's already had 5. And there he is, warming up for a chance at a 6th field goal. He's hit 21 straight.
He's closing in on the record. I'm not sure he needs to warm up over there. He's going to be wore out before this game's over with, just on legitimate shots from the field.
3rd and 4. Here we come the other way, and this is Sean Jefferson for first down yardage inside the 10. Early season razzle-dazzle here, Joe.
Yeah, this is from that little bunch look where they bring all the receivers in close, but instead of throwing a pass route, fake the ball up inside and get a reverse off of it. This is a neat little call here on 3rd down. Of course, you're in the driver's seat. You're down there where you're looking at a field goal anyway, and you can afford to take some chances when you're sitting down here like this.
1st and goal from the 8. And the enemy for a few before he's stopped by Terry Wooden.
You normally would think of Marion Butts down here, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he's maybe nicked a little bit, or at least tired, Dan, from that first excellent showing in the first half. But San Diego's got good depth, so they're going with the enemy.
A gain of 6 for the enemy, or rather 4, which has the ball down to the 4. There's Marion Butts. Probably shaking off still a thigh bruise he had in the preseason. This is the 10th play of this drive. And Means with a call again.
That's what you were talking about, Dan, and they like him. The balance here is just phenomenal. Watch him right here. Actually on one leg here, gets hit. The defender right there's got him for a loss. And he actually finds a way to make 2 yards out of that. I mean, some of the great runs by the great backs are 2 yards runs. That was one of them.
Hey, this is almost a scary rushing attack with Butts on the sidelines. Means in there. They don't seem to miss a beat.
That little set again, the 3 wide receivers in a bunch.
And this is Harmon. Driven back at about the 2. Terry Wooden. Seahawk linebacker driving him back. And there's the man.
It would be crazy to do anything else. You got a chance for an 8-point lead right here, Dan. Takes them out of a touchdown, being able to beat San Diego. And I think if I had to count on this guy, that's a pretty good guy to go to. I think Bobby Ross has some confidence here, particularly from the 1-yard line.
Well, he's going for the San Diego record now. This would be a 6th field goal to the game, and this is a chip shot. 19-yarder. The hold is good. The kick is good. And John Carney 6 for 6. 6 times 3 is 18, and that's the Chargers' total to Seattle's 10. Well, John Carney's got a record 6 field goals for San Diego, but I think the crowd wanted Bobby Ross to go for it on that.
The crowd wanted him to go for it, but believe me, you know what would have happened if they had gone for it and missed it? They'd have booed then, too. I've been there. I figured that out right away in coaching.
Well, Carney's line drive kick is taken by Michael Bates. And he's brought down at about the 20-yard line.
I was a young coach, and I was at the Washington my very first time. We get down there, and they want to go for it. And I said, man, they want to go for it. We went for it. I get down there again. It's 4th and 1. I said, they want to go for it. We went for it. They were all cheering. We don't get it. They started booing me, and I said, oh, I see. So from then on, I said, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do. I know what you guys are going to do. They're going to cheer and want you to go for it on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and goal, and then they're going to boo you if you don't make it.
Tom Flores' offense has done nothing. You saw the list of punts that the Seattle drives have ended in. But there's still time. 5:23 left in the game. Seattle trailing 18-10 as Meyer connects with Brian Blades.
For as lopsided as it is, Dan, we still have a game here, and you're right. This gives you a little replay here of San Diego bringing their linebackers underneath, and again, that's an example of trying to cover one-on-one on the outside. But we have a game here, 8 points. Mainly due to the fact that, hey, San Diego's not been able to score touchdowns, only field goals, although he's dominated.
On the first down, complete to Thomas. And he'll reach out to the 39, brought down by Darian Gordon. Clock continuing to run under 4:40 to go. They like Darian Gordon. He signed a 3-year, $2.2 million contract.
This would be a place now to jump into some no-huddle here for Seattle. Don't waste any more time. They got to score twice.
Second and 1. And we'll get the first down. John L. Williams picks it up. Leslie O'Neal on the stop.
You kind of like to see him maybe go to no huddle right here.
Would that be asking too much for Rick Meyer, who missed 18 days as a holdout, got into camp rather late, still picking up the offense?
Well, he'd already done some of it in the first half in that 2-minute drive right before half, so you know that he's got it in.
Oh, he's got a lot of room to run. He's got the first down marker in mind, and he gets past that and goes all the way down to the Charger 37. And that was what the Chargers were worried about, was Meyer's mobility.
Yeah, the quarterbacks that can run, the Cunninghams, Myers, I've coached some of them, Joe Theismann, people that can run like that, give you an extra dimension right here. And this is kind of like, this is the thing that when I was talking yesterday to the Chargers, they were really afraid of. Coach Arnsbarger said he's afraid of Meyer making plays like that on his own. Undesigned.
The handoff to John L. Williams. Meyer and Williams almost colliding there in the backfield.
Timeout. Seattle.
Seattle calls a timeout.
That's their first charge timeout.
And we'll take a timeout. Seattle driving. They're in Charger territory. They trail it 18-10. Don't miss tonight's lineup on NBC Eyewitness Video at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Then the NBC Sunday night movie Living a Lie, as L.A. Law's Jill Eikenberry plays a woman who faces a moral dilemma when she suspects her husband was involved in a deadly crime in their small town. As Rick Meyer back to pass evades one Charger defender. And it's complete to Thomas down at the 27-yard line. Close to a first down.
That's the thing that Rick can give you right there, is an absolute blitz with nobody on the guy coming right at your quarterback, and he gets away from it. Most quarterbacks in this league would have been down, and you can see it right here coming from the outside. Watch, nobody even touches the outside safety.
That was Marquez Pope almost getting to Meyer. It was a first down, and this one complete to Paul Green, the tight end.
We'd like to see him go to the line of scrimmage here. Get him up there, Rick. Get him up there, Rick.
Well, we know that Rick Meyer's parents are watching in Goshen, Indiana. At least that's if they were able to hook up the satellite dish that Rick bought them.
He was a little worried about that. He says that if they got it hooked up, they'll be listening to us.
He purchased the dish, and his only worry was if they're going to be able to get it hooked up. We have a feeling that Ken and Karen Meyer are watching from Goshen, Indiana, where Rick had just a storybook high school career there before moving on to Notre Dame. The down Seahawk is Paul Green, the tight end, but we'll remind you, coming up on the Head and Shoulders post-game report, we'll be heading back to New York, and Jim Lampley along with Mike Ditka and O.J. Simpson. They'll be rounding up the scores and highlights of this first week in the NFL and a first game for Rick Meyer.
Somebody didn't tell Mike Ditka this is a luau today, did they? The way he was dressed there earlier today. I'm a little upset about that. I'm out here in the field working. He's back in the studio It looked like he was kind of dressed out for some entertainment afterwards. A little luau time back there. We're out here working for a living. I'm not sure about this deal.
Well, those are the numbers for Rick Meyer in his NFL debut. Just the 1 interception. But a good day. He's taken 4 sacks, but as you pointed out, Joe, he's elected to take the sacks rather than take the chance and throw in the interception.
Yeah, not a lot of big mistakes here by Rick, really. I'd rate it as a pretty good first outing for a quarterback. If he can find some way right here with a little magic to get this thing in the end zone, of course, but I think for the first time out for him, going up against this defense certainly was a big challenge for him. I think he's handled things fairly well. I don't see him...
There's Paul Green being helped off the field.
I don't see him upset, you know, and making big plays that really hurt the team other than that 1 interception. That was just a great defensive play, I felt like.
18-10, San Diego with a lead, 2:42 left. Seattle threatening at the Charger 23. 2nd down and 5, and the Charger fans are going to make it difficult on Rick again. Short pass to Warren, looking for yardage. With a nice move, gets down to about the 16 before Leslie O'Neal drives him out of bounds. It's a gain of 6 and should be enough for the first down.
This is great effort here. Watch Junior Seau from all the way from the inside. Watch this guy won't do right here. Sees it, comes up, kind of gets walled off by one of the linemen. Watch him right here. Relentless spins. Turns around and comes all the way back to the sideline.
1st and 10, Seattle from the 17. Myers' throw has John L. Williams spinning around. And he was able to make the catch.
Inbounds here.
And that'll move the ball down to the 11-yard line as we approach the 2-minute warning.
He's got a chance to get a playoff here. Get it off, Rick.
Well, they'll wait for the gun and the 2-minute warning.
That's a 2-minute warning.
So Rick Meyer and the Seahawks down at the 11-yard line, but they trail by 8. Seahawks have 2 timeouts left. They've driven from their own 20 down to the Charger 11. They trail at 18-10. Touchdown, and of course the extra point would make it 18-17, but the Charger defense looking for some help from the fans. Meyer avoids 2 tacklers, lowers his shoulder into Darren Carrington, the free safety.
Timeout.
And we'll take a quick timeout.
Charge team timeout.
We'll be right back.
That's a 42nd timeout. And
you just saw Rick Meyer lower his shoulder, picked up a couple more. The ball on the 9-yard line, 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, I think Rick is getting a chance to earn his money here right now. This is why you pay those guys all that money. And certainly Rick, in this drive, I'd say, Dan, he really has done some of the things that Seattle thinks he's capable of doing for me. Making people miss him, scrambling out of the pocket, making plays on his own, and certainly he's done that all the way down here. I like the way he competes. Yeah, he could have slid feet first right there. Hey, he was going for the first down, and we saw that in him twice today. I think this guy's a competitive guy, and above all else at quarterback, what you need is a tough guy that can compete.
And a timeout by the Chargers.
San Diego tried to substitute.
Diego.
All of a sudden there, Dan, they tried to substitute the matchup. They wanted to change their people in there, get in some more safeties, it looked like, and they got caught. Too many men on the field, had to take a timeout.
That was Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator for San Diego. That is Junior Seau. Leslie O'Neal. Now Seattle on 3rd down conversions today, 1 of 9. Now facing 3rd down and 2, trailing 18-10 with 1:47 to go. This is the time to break that trend.
Yeah, this is it. They need to break that, get themselves one here, somehow get this thing in the end zone. Then we're looking at an onside kick.
Seattle had an excellent end to their preseason. They Houston, and they beat San Francisco 30-0 in their final preseason game. And some folks thought that Seattle had more momentum coming into this game than the Chargers did.
Yeah, but I think that played into San Diego's hands. They lost to the 49ers big after having some good early games. And I think that put them in the right frame of mind for the day.
12th play of the drive. Meyer will throw, and it's complete to Blades, and he fumbled the ball. The Chargers have it. Bert Grossman recovered it. Stanley Richard may have stripped it.
Recovered by number 92,
Grossman did recover, and Richard did pry the ball loose.
I think Blades has made a great effort to try and score on this. He got the ball out away from his body and got it stripped. This is a great effort. Rick finds him across the middle here, right in the middle, a little open zone, and he went for the end zone here. And you see him right here, second effort, and the ball gets pulled away from him. And that's one of the standard drills you teach on defensive football. If somebody gets stood up, you'd like to try and strip the ball. In other words, work to try and get the ball away from them. That was a classic example. You'll see San Diego here just try and run this thing out.
And this is Natrone Means. So Seattle, after driving from its own 20 all the way down to the 4-yard line of San Diego, gives up the fumble, and thus, really, unless something bizarre happens here, any chances of winning the game. Minute 29 left.
40-second timeout, and their final timeout.
Brian Blades made the catch from Rick Meyer, but fumbled the ball, and that has enabled San Diego to regain possession at their own 4-yard line.
A tough guy here. Brian had some injuries. They weren't sure he's going to be able to play. Plays, you hate to see that happen to a guy like that. Going for extra yardage down there, trying to score with the football, and gets it stripped. And Tom Flores, what a picture of frustration. So much he went through last year. Gosh, I can only imagine what that would be like. And starting off with a tough loss here.
Certainly doesn't at all seem like the 2-14 team of last year. I don't think there's anything to doubt about that. Coming into San Diego in the opener, sellout crowd. First time in 7 years they've sold the stadium out. And Seattle coming in a huge underdog, trailing 18-10. But perhaps what could have been for Seattle today instead will most likely turn into a victory for the Chargers as Natrone Mean, the ball carrier, stopped by Rod Stevens.
I think there's some good things for them to build on. I really think Rick Myers played a good football game for an outing, first time out. Got him down there in position to really make a game out of this. I think we know they have a good defense. I think they're much more solid, Dan. We played them late last year, and they just didn't look like they had a lot of holes last year. And I think Coach Flores has done a good job kind of putting things together.
Now, we just saw Bobby Beathard, and I'm sure he's more relieved. He came in and came into our booth before the game, seemed a little nervous about what was in store for San Diego, but he'll take the 1-0 start and snap the 6th straight opening losing streak that San Diego has built up over the years. But so instead of an 0-4 start, at least they'll have a 1-0 start in 93.
Yeah, Bobby's done a good job rebuilding this thing, and we go back a long ways. It's amazing. Everybody talked about the disagreements we had between Bobby and I when he left, but those were so many productive years, and we were laughing and talking about those yesterday, all the way going back to when our kids were in camp together. And I always blamed his boys, the Beathard boys, for being a bad influence. They were older than my young boys when they were up there in camp. But certainly we got some great memories there. I'm happy for Bobby, and it's off to a good start. And San Diego's going to take a safety.
Well, John Kidd lined up for only his second punt of the day as time runs out on the Seattle Seahawks. As Kidd does indeed take the safety, so the final score is San Diego 18, Seattle 12. The Chargers 1-0, Seattle 0-1 to start 93. Be sure and stay tuned for the Head and Shoulders post-game report right after these messages.